Is Samsung becoming Apple? Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. And today we are going to hurt something. We're going to hurt something. When I first heard about the Note 10, I was really excited. And then I started to hear different things about the Note 10 that made me, how shall we say, less excited. I'm still overall excited for the phone, but lately some stuff has been happening. We found out that the headphone jack is not going to be there anymore. We found out just recently that it's unlikely that the Note 10 is going to get the brand new 855 Plus chip, which is just an overclocked version of the 855. But, you know, it's a faster chip. Note 10's not going to get it. We found out that the Note 10 is going to be capable of super fast charging and that there will be a 45-watt power adapter available for the Note 10. But we're also learning that that 45-watt power adapter is not going to be available in the box with the phone. Yeah. So, if this is sounding familiar to you, you're probably on the same wavelength as I am. This is a classic Apple move. Apple sells a fast charger. I think it costs like $70 for their phones, but in the box, they give us the same 5-watt charger that came with the iPhone, like OG iPhone, I think, which is insulting. It's insulting that you would pay over $1,000 or $1,000 or anywhere close to those kinds of dollars and not get everything that premium device could need or want to have in order to be functional, in order to be a premium experience. Apple's made a habit of this to where I think it's, we could just say when somebody leaves out a feature or when somebody takes away a feature, we could just say you've been appled. Let's try it. The OnePlus 7 Pro doesn't have wireless charging. We've been appled. The OnePlus 7 Pro doesn't have headphone jack. We've been appled. The Note 10, no headphone jack. We've been appled. No upgraded chip. We've been appled. No super fast charging in the box. We've been appled. Is it fair? Something we can discuss. I'm on the fence now because it seems like over the past couple of years, the differences between iPhones and Android phones has sort of gone like this. They're not really all that different anymore. Yes, the operating system is different. Yes, the whole mindset behind how the operating systems work are different. But the companies who build and sell these phones are operating on much the same kind of mission statement, which is to charge as much as possible and give as little as possible in return. Now, the Galaxy Note 10 is going to be a feature-rich phone. It's going to be, Samsung. I always say that the Galaxy Note 10 is Samsung's not flagship so much as showcase phone. It's the showcase phone. It has all the stuff that is currently Samsung, but this time not so much. We've lost a couple of things, and we find out that we're not getting the chip. There's a brand new camera module that Samsung's going to roll out. In 2020, they're going to entirely redo the cameras in the Samsung phones, starting with the S11. But this does remind me quite a bit of the news cycle coming out of Cupertino recently, that the iPhone 11 is basically just kind of like a placeholder. Like, yeah, we got a phone this year, but wait for next year. Next year is going to be better. Now we're hearing the same thing from Samsung. Wait for next year. Next year is going to be better. Samsung was off to an amazing start to this year. The Galaxy's S10, S10 Plus, etc., etc., those were fantastic, still are fantastic phones. Usually when the S line is hitting on all cylinders, I get really excited for the Note line because it's gonna be great. The S7 being one. The Note 7 was a great phone, even though pour one out. Anyway, it still was a great phone. I had it twice. I had to give it back. All this leads me to the question, the thought: are Samsung and other manufacturers becoming more Apple-like? Apple has always been able to sort of set their own terms and say, this is the kind of thing that we're going to do. This is the kind of thing that you want to buy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas before, Android phones seemed to offer a lot of different stuff. They say the benefit of buying an Android phone, over and above whether or not you like Android over iOS, was that the flagship Android phones were really, really good at giving you additional features, putting some extra stuff in the box, giving away something free, all that kind of stuff. And it just seems now that in 2019, that's not entirely the case. We can start out with the OnePlus 7 Pro charging flagship prices, but not offering all the flagship features. And now we have the Note 10 coming out, where it's not going to have that charger. It's not going to have that bumped up chip. It's not going to have the headphone jack. It's not going to have stuff that normally Samsung phones would have without question. So is this a turning point? Not to mention the fact that Samsung seems to be taking Apple's pricing models as their own and putting things in a price range where no one can really play, unless money is no object. The writing seemed to be on the wall at the end of 2018 when Apple wasn't selling very many phones, when Samsung was struggling to sell phones, when Huawei with their giant offering of phones had moved up to second place in market share. The writing seemed to be on the wall that consumers were not willing to or able to spend four figures plus on a smartphone. But yet the 2019 phones come around and we see that it's the same thing all over again. Has something happened that's going to make people want to pay $1,100 or $1,200 for a Note 10 Plus? Has something happened that's going to make people want to pay $1,000 or $1,100 or whatever dollars for an iPhone 11? No, there's nothing that has changed, and yet Samsung seems to be doing its best Apple impersonation on so many fronts. It's just frustrating to me. Really, really frustrating. And I wonder where it's coming from. Did Samsung get hurt so bad monetarily with the Fold that they have to cut back on these other things so that they can recoup some money for the end of the year roundup of dollars and cents? I don't know. Maybe that's something for another video. But all I know is Samsung is looking a lot more like Apple every time they put out a new phone. And that is a pattern that disturbs me. Does it disturb you? That's something we could discuss down in the comments. Why don't you head down there and we'll discuss. That would be an awesome thing to do. Once again, if this was your first time here and you want to come back again and see more Painfully Honest Tech and listen to me talk about smartphones and tech and all that kind of stuff and generally kind of rant and rave about things, then you can hit the subscribe button, bell notify yourself, like, etc., etc. If you've been here before, thank you again so much for coming back over and 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 over. I really do appreciate it. To recap, my name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.